Injuries. Already Kevin McHale, of course, is hampered by ankle and foot injuries. Bill Walton has set out the last 3 games with foot problems, and now center Robert Parrish will definitely miss Game 6 because of an ankle sprain. Pat O'Brien has more on the Boston Celtics woes as they prepare to take on Milwaukee tomorrow.
I think that tonight we sort of took it for granted that we was going to win. We played well, but we didn't play well enough. I'm really surprised, to tell you the truth.
To tell you the truth, nothing could save the Celtics last night. Not Larry Bird, not the Chief, not the parquet floor, not even a 33-game winning streak in the Garden.
We know it's hard to win in here, but when you talk about pressure, it's even. It's pressure to win the game you're playing, and it's as simple as it is, really.
Milwaukee came out and played a simple game of run and shoot. These weren't Bucks, these were Gazelles. They moved so well last night you thought the Garden had lost its intimidation factor. This team also has something Boston does not. It's called a bench.
Boston only plays maybe 1 or 2 other people off the bench, and we play quite a few more. We probably play about 9 to 10 players consistently, so in that sense I think that we have more depth.
Take a look at the playing time and you know why depth has been a word you don't hear much in Boston. The best 5-man team in the league has carried the load. The reserves have been more like casual visitors. To add insult to injury, last night, Robert Parrish went down with a sprained ankle. And the Celtics arrived in Milwaukee tonight without the Chief.
That's unfortunate. You hate to see anybody get hurt anytime there, especially now. But, you know, we've all been hurt before, and, you know, that's one of the things you got to overcome.
But they are still the defending champs, and the Bucks are still pretenders.
We're going to worry about Friday night first. We feel that we have our hands full. They're going to come out more aggressive. And our main concern is Friday. We want to play to win Friday and worry about Sunday and keeping a good series.
Well, if we can just bottle up the feeling that we have right now and take it down there with us, we'll be all right.
Pat O'Brien, CBS Sports.
Finals in the Eastern Conference. As a matter of fact, this will be the first time that the Pistons have advanced to the finals in the conference since 1962 when they played the Los Angeles Lakers in the Western Conference. Last night, the Detroit Pistons got a hero's welcome in Detroit. As a matter of fact, it was 1:30 in the morning when a bunch of enthusiastic fans, diehard fans, showed up and gave the Detroit Pistons a hero's welcome.
God, this team amazing. I'm stunned at what's happening.
I felt confident that if it got down to the end of the basketball game, I'd do something to make us win.
And I hope we can carry this to the next series. But it's just not the team victory. It's the city, the whole state.
You know, Isaiah Thomas had a conversation with Magic Johnson a week ago saying to Magic that he wanted to be in the NBA Finals in the worst possible way, and now Isaiah is only 1 series away from making that happen. Well, speaking of Magic Johnson, he has a list of players that received awards this week. The Magic Man was voted by his peers as the Sporting News Player of the Year, and his teammate Michael Cooper was NBA Media Selection as Defensive Player of the Year, while Indiana's Chuck Person today was announced as the league's Rookie of the Year. He outdistanced runner-up Ron Harper of the Cleveland Cavaliers. And one other NBA note, today attorneys for banned New Jersey net guard Michael Ray Richardson met with league counsel Gary Bettman to discuss the player's malpractice suit against Dr. Russell Furstandick, who happens to be Richardson's previous drug therapist. Well, Richardson's attorneys contend that his drug relapse was due to Furstandick's mishandling. The topic of early reinstatement for Richardson was also raised, but in accordance with league rules, his case and request for reinstatement will not be reviewed until February 1988, 2 years from the date that he was originally expelled from the league, and indeed, reinstatement is not automatic. All right, let's talk a little bit about the Seattle Supersonics. There's no question that their success during the playoffs has got this town buzzing and indeed thinking back to the glory years of the late 1970s. Well, there was a key player on that squad then who was one of the most popular ever, and his name was Slick Watts. As a matter of fact, Slick Watts was a very distinctive character. Take a look. That shaved head was very familiar, as well as his drives down the lane into big man's territory. Now, no one could ever accuse Slick of not being a thinking man's guard, because when he had to, he pulled up for the jumper on the outside. Slick Watts. And now, while most of us maybe age and get gray hair in our old age, Slick Watts hasn't changed one bit. No gray there. The only thing that's missing is the headband. Do you get a chance to use it much?
Well, James, I go out and I play a whole lot of ball, and I stay in shape, and I use it sometimes we do fundraisers across the country.
Slick, one thing that I did not mention to our audience is that you played for both the Seattle Supersonics and the Houston Rockets when you were traded by the Sonics in '78. You still have friends playing for the Rockets. Any dilemma as to which team you'll be pulling for?
Well, you know, of course, I'm going to go with home. Seattle, Washington, I've been here all my life almost, other than Rolling Fork, Mississippi. So I'm going with the Seattle Supersonics.
A lot of people have been trying to dissect the Sonics to understand the reasons for their success this year. One similarity between the teams in the late 70s that you played for here and the current Seattle team, 3 players were given free reign offensively. Jack Sikma, Dennis Johnson, and Gus Williams back then. And, of course, now it's Tom Chambers, Xavier Daniel, and Dale Ellis. Is that a big reason why this team is successful, the unrestricted offensive moves?
Well, I definitely think so, because I remember back in the days when Andrew Tonin was playing with Philly, and he's still playing with Philly, and he was looking back to see what the coach wanted to tell him, you know, and he had the ball stolen away from him. And I think it puts additional pressure on the players when they're out there and they kind of look and see what the coach wanted them to do. Whether Lenny and Bernie kind of let these fellas really play loose and keep the pressure off them.
5 seconds. Is the city behind this team as they were back in the late 70s?
The city's coming back together. It's slowly coming, but it's coming back like it used to be.
All right.